What's going on, guys? Welcome back. This is game number 2 here between Nestea and BratOK. This time we are here on Shakuris Plateau. In the bottom right hand position, we have got BratOK as the yellow Terran player, and then over here in the lower left hand position, Nestea as our teal Zerg. Now, Nestea ending up winning last game. We saw a little bit of a back and forth in the early to middle stages of the game. First, we saw Nestea push out with Roach speedling. This severely delayed BratOK's expansion, especially considering the fact that BratOK opened up with a factory expand. Now, even though that happened, we saw a very strong counter push from BratOK, pushing out with Hellions and Hellions and Marines is what he pushed out with. And with that, he was actually able to snipe out the third expansion of Nestea. So kind of a little back and forth in the early game. First, Nestea kind of hindered BratOK's economy, and then we saw actually BratOK take out an expansion, hurting obviously Nestea's economy at that point. Then we moved into the middle stage of the game. We saw a very effective push from BratOK that allowed him to take out the high yield of expansion of Nestea. Nestea, though, macroing so impressively, getting max upgrades, heavy switching into Ultralisks, and with some fully upgraded Ultras, he just demolished. Fully upgraded Ultras and Speedlings, he was able to mop up everything that BratOK had in the center of the map and then counterattack for a pretty smooth victory there at the end. Was an awesome game. In all honesty, I can't wait. You know what, guys? I'm so excited. Every time I think about the next expansion, the Heart of the Swarm expansion, I just I'm so excited. I cannot wait to be commentating games of the pros from Heart of the Swarm. It's going to be phenomenal. Very, very, very much looking forward to it. Nestea now moving out, and he is scouting for BratOK. We can see the Overlord down here was able to scout out where BratOK was, so immediately changing position with his drone and making sure he can get into BratOK's base and get as much intel as possible with his drone. We'll be chasing around that SCV and just trying to be a huge pain in the butt. Now, moving down, he wants to check, of course, the refineries. He wants to know how many he has and how many guys are mining from it. Now, at this point, trapped inside of the base, he doesn't really have much of an option. He's a goner, that's for sure. Just kind of dance around with him for now. That Marine's actually looking to find the drone, and there it is. So there you go. See you later, drone. Again, nothing that Nestea can really do about this. There's no way he's going to be leaving. We're kind of hoping that one of those depots would have been lowered, but as we can see, that's not the case. Now, we do have a factory coming out. Great thing here for Nestea is that he can see this, so now he knows, okay, so there's something involving a teching up, and it looks like it is in fact ooh, look at this, lifting off, landing over there, and is he going to come down with the reactor? That's the question right now. That is the question I am wondering. Really want to see if BratOK is going to do that or not. You know, it looks like he isn't. Something a little different this time from our buddy BratOK. Will not be opening up with that double Hellion quick expand that we saw him do last game, trying something a little bit different. I'm expecting to see him move right into a starport right now. You can see the hefty amount of S-beam that he has been floating here. And where is it? Where is it? There it is. Starport now coming out and then getting a few Hellions there out of the factory. Very, very cool opening here from BratOK, starting out with that 1-1-1, and let's see exactly what type of push he plans to do with this. I'm expecting some sort of an aggressive push from him, possibly even a drop. Back over here for Nestea, we can see that Expo is up. Metabolic boost coming on through as well. He has pulled guys off the extractor, only sitting with one guy mining from that extractor right now. So concentrating at the moment on droning up relatively hard. He has got some scouting Zerglings. How many does he have? Just the 2. There we go. So just sitting with 2 scouting Zerglings. This one's going to be roasted, though, from the Hellion here of BratOK. So BratOK able to quickly take that out. Finally microing. He took unnecessary amounts of damage. In fact, you don't have to even get hit once from a Zergling that is unupgraded. So he took some pretty hefty damage. Now back over here, we can see the command center coming out. So a 1-1-1 into Expo. Now, also very important to note, look at this Banshee play coming out. Now, it's not going to be Cloak Banshees, just opening up with normal Banshees. This will allow him to still harass and do some damage, and a double Expo here. Very risky of BratOK, but if BratOK can manage to get it up without issue, then he's going to be in a strong economic position. So opening up with some Banshee harass, hoping to kill off some drones and just be harassive and just a nuisance in general. And we've got a macro hatch coming out here for Nestea, deciding not to push into a third, but again, just going for that kind of extra expansion inside of his main. I wonder if he did actually manage to catch that expo there. No, he didn't. The Zergling up here was not able to get close enough to scout out that command center was building. We got a little switch going on. We'll be moving into siege tanks, I expect, and there it is. Siege tank and siege tech should be coming out, and then I expect him to start working on his marine numbers as well. Now, what about that Banshee? Well, what about it? Where is it? That's the question. Banshee at the center of the map and actually being used to get some map control, now already sitting with 1 kill. Obviously going to assume that was a Zergling. We've got a Marine here with control of the map over there, with control of that Zelnaga tower. And BratOK moving up to check Nestea's third, and not there. So time to head and try to do a little bit of damage. Now, one thing that this is going to do, much like the Hellion plays the role of map control, this Banshee is going to be used to help him gain map control as well. Won't be seeing a lot of anti-air anytime soon at all. And look at what else this forces Nestea to do. Nestea now forced to come out with some spore crawlers. Ooh, that's scary. And actually, now that we've got a Viking in play, it's going to allow him to snipe down some of those overlords as well. So this is, again, another problem here for Nestea. So basically, what he's done in opening up with this Banshee and following it up with a Viking, he's forced Nestea to just blow resources, coming out with these spore crawlers just to deal with the possibility of that Banshee having cloak. And then now that Viking's in play, he's forced to make extra overlords as well to compensate for the ones that the Vikings kill. And Vikings already killed off 2 overlords. We got Speedlings searching around right now for any possible third expansions. We got a couple hunkered away over here, so if BratOK attempts to move down there, they would be able to deal with that. However, I expect this orbital command to actually get placed down here, making it so that BratOK just has to defend this little nook over here, and that's basically it. He won't have to try to extend himself all the way over to that third expansion. Speedland's taking out the Marine there at the center of the map. We still have that Viking now just with those 2 kills. Banshee's still doing what he can to get map control. He's got a total of 3 kills right now. Should be getting a few more here. There's a couple free Zergling kills. Why not, right? I mean, take him while you can. It's not a problem at all for that Banshee, and he's not even risking himself even slightly. Again, you know, we're at about the 10-minute mark, and it is not until about now that he has to be concerned about anti-air. And we've got, once that Spire pops, we will be seeing some Mutalisk come into play. But, I mean, that's a long time to have map control. Now, yes, those Speedlings have been able to run around a little bit, but still, he's been able to get all of those free kills, which is pretty awesome indeed. And even delaying those creep tumors as well is something that we've been seeing this Banshee do. Got the Queen moving down. He will be used for this hatchery to inject some larvae. Banshee continued to dance around, now sitting at 7 kills. There you go, pretty awesome. Feel like he has paid for himself most certainly. We've got a drop of Hellions coming down over in this direction, and it looks like actually, BratOK will be deciding to go with a mech heavy play this time around. Last game we saw him play Marine tank, but this time we'll be seeing Mech coming out with Thors, siege tanks, and Hellions is what we are going to expect here from BratOK. BratOK's now moving to drop, and I wonder where he's planning to go. Looks like, yeah, ooh, look at that. That is no vision over there for Nestea. Undetectable this drop will be, at least momentarily. Finally, the Banshee gets taken out, but not before he takes the last life in that Queen. Queen gets dropped as the Banshee's last hurrah. Here come those Hellions, though. Here we go. Now we've got a few mutas in place, so they should be able to deal with this quickly. Hellions are going to be trying to roast as many as possible before they end up getting mopped up. We've got a couple Speedlings there. A little bit of a missed micro there from BratOK. He could have gotten a couple extra shots off on those Speedlings and actually probably been able to take them out. That would have allowed him to try to do a little bit more economic damage, but unfortunately with a little bit of missed micro, wasn't able to do that. Hellions over here, the mutas over here rather, trying to do the same type of thing that we saw the Hellions do, in this sense that they are trying to do some economic harass. However, going to be difficult. We've got a lot of missile turrets placed throughout the base here, as well as those Thors. A couple of more expansions coming out. And BratOK just massing up these command centers. He's getting ready for some heavy expanding action with all of these orbital commands too, going to allow him to mule pretty hefty and mine out bases very quickly here, even on just the 2 bases that he's currently on. Evolution Chamber coming down, that's going to be his second one. He's got some upgrades coming out of that first one, also some upgrades coming out of that Spire. Carpus level 1, weapons level 1 for those air units as well. He's already got the melee weapon 1 upgrade for those ground units. Hellion moving across the map to get some map control. Needs to be careful though, because again, we've got those mutas in play. So mutas taking those free Hellion kills right there. We got another Hellion actually moving completely in the wrong direction. Hellions will be attempting to push up into this third expansion. Not sure how much damage they're going to be able to do. Unfortunately, it looks like BratOK will just pretty much be losing these. Let's see if he can do any damage though before he does. Roasting a few workers, getting a few Zerglings in the mix as well. Mutas though and Speedlings finally able to take it out. Again, we've got BratOK just on these 2 bases. Want to see him move into his 3rd. There we go. Transition finally coming. Unsieging his tanks and Thors. Also, the Hellions moving on down to try to protect this. Now, because there isn't a ton of anti-air, he's got those Thors, but we'll also be relying on these missile turrets to help against any aggression from those mutas. The biggest thing is that basically, BratOK just needs to protect his tanks. That's all he's really concerned about right now. That's the biggest threat from those mutas at the moment. His base is pretty well protected with those turrets. Now, what is going on over here for Nestea? That's the question. Massive upgrades. Carpus level 2 coming for those ground units. The missile attack level 1 coming out as well. We got Burrow Research, Tunneling Claws, Flying Carpus. So it's just some heavy upgrades coming here from Nestea. Nestea macroing like a boss. Also, the Infestation Pit just about to pop. That's going to allow him to move into that Hive Tech. Also, of course, getting those Infestors in play. We've got a 4th expansion out here for Nestea as well. Couple orbital commands. Again, this is going to allow a BratOK to be able to mule heavily. And take a look at this mineral advantage from BratOK. Those mules are just absolutely insane. He can drop so many mules. He's sitting right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orbitals, and that's a lot considering he's only actually mining from 3 bases right now, and his main's getting pretty close to being mined out as well. Trying to look for some more harassing going on. Spieling scouting over there, and it does appear like BratOK is actually also going to be trying to move into this expansion. We'll be relying on these missile turrets as muta defense. He can't spread himself too thin though, because he does need to make sure he's got enough tank forces to defend his 3rd and his natural, so he needs to be careful about where he puts those bases. And look at this, 2 more command centers coming down. So BratOK sitting very command center heavy, allowing him to get those orbitals, and that's basically that. That's basically that. He just wants to make sure that he's got those orbitals, has enough energy to be able to mule very hard. The biggest thing though with the mass expanding when you're playing mech heavy is you're so reliant on Vespene. Having Vespene just off of 2 or 3 bases isn't going to allow you to afford a very strong mech army. And wow, look at this. We've got some pretty interesting upgrades here. I think we're going to be seeing some Raven play come in very shortly. You can see the starting energy of the Raven from that Corvid reactor. I do not remember the last time I saw that research in a professional game. I cannot tell you the last time I saw that research. But again, take a look over here. Nestea has also been given plenty of opportunity to macro up very, very hard. And yeah, that's going to help him quite a bit as well. He's getting a lot of upgrades for all of his units, basically. He's getting the air upgrades, the melee upgrades, the range upgrades. He's also got the Nydus network coming out. Greater Spire is going to allow him, of course, to go into those Broodlords. Would like to see Nestea take a 5th base. He's still just sitting on 4. And again, we've got BratOK on 4 bases right now as well. Hellions moving to the center of the map, checking those Zelnaga towers. And we got 1 Hellion down there already. So BratOK does have vision of the center of the map at the moment. Also dropping a scan. Again, realize he's got so many orbitals. He can do this for a very long time. There are the Roaches, though, forcing back those Hellions. Hellions able to make it back safely because of their extra speed. Where's that Nydus getting dropped? Right over here. Okay, so we've got Nestea with the Nydus over here. This is going to allow him to hit that 3rd from that top position. And, you know, BratOK thinks he's okay up there, but he's going to realize very shortly that he is not. We've got an attempted expansion that's going to be getting dropped right over there. SCV scouting all of these Roaches. This should allow BratOK to respond, and there we go. Realizing that this Roach push is coming, we'll be moving down, but are the Roaches going to be offered time to do some damage? Looks like they've got a little bit of an opportunity here. Thors and tanks finally coming up. That's going to force those Roaches back. And that was unfortunate there for Nestea, because Nestea had a phenomenal opportunity. And actually, we've got another Nydus Worm coming up here. SCV Surround, though, actually killing off the Worm. A few Roaches managed to make it up into the base. All the Roaches down here get mopped up from BratOK's very strong mech army. He's got some pretty hefty upgrades. Again, we just have some Roaches over here. And here come the Ravens. A total of, how many in play? 3 in play right now. 3 more about to come out. I am very interested to see this Raven play. I think that's pretty awesome. We'd love to see some Seeker missile action as well. A few more Roaches coming up here, and he will be tearing through the mech army. The big thing is that he's able to get so close and just snipe down those tanks as well as those Thors. We'll be retreating with the rest of those, actually burrow them down. This Nydus Worm's going to get taken out right now by these Thors. He's going to try to snipe that one Thor, though. He's got those Roaches. He does have that opportunity. Overseer still over here, so Meti, another Nydus Worm. Oh, that gets scouted out by the Ravens. So that's going to force those Roaches back right now. Those are goners, not going to be able to do anything else. BratOK should be able to take them out. Very, very interesting Nydus play, but I don't know if he really ended up doing much damage at all. You can see actually Nestea is behind in terms of resources lost right now. Still got that massive orbital. Let's get some more command centers coming out over here as well. BratOK just sitting idly with that command center over there. Roaches burrowed over here, actually safe for the moment. Ravens moving around, checking for some overlords, I'm assuming, or possibly looking for some mutas. We've got that broodlord transition coming out. Also the adrenal glands, speedlings turning into cracklings. Carapace level 2 upgrade, melee attack level 2 upgrade as well. We've got another Nydus network that's getting dropped over here. However, Siege Tank quite easily able to take that out. He's gonna drop turrets just to get rid of this oversteer. That's pretty hilarious, actually. Roach is still over here, very heavy mech army in the middle. Both players pretty much at 200 pop right now. Slightly behind at the moment is Nestea, but that's because he's just kind of been throwing units all over the place. These turrets will be able to finally shoot back this overseer, and actually the one Viking over here to help with that as well. So that overseer gets taken out. See you later, buddy. Nice to know ya. Roach is still over here. We've got a Muta over here. We'll be scouting the edges, and hopefully we see some more Nydus network action. Realize, though, whenever he does that, it costs resources. Dropping those Nydus cost resources, so you don't want to do that too much, especially if you're not doing too much damage with it. Then you end up kind of blowing resources. And come the late game, the Vespene is the biggest thing. You can see floating lots of minerals as they're both near 200 supply, but the Vespene is still staying nice and low as they continue to get their upgrades, upgrading research and all sorts of stuff. We've got more and more Ravens coming out here from BratOK, and this is a pretty interesting play again. Ravens is not something you see a lot of in professional games, but I'm pretty happy to see BratOK decide to go with it. He's got the Seeker Missile, as well as obviously the point defense drone and the auto turret. A couple of Roaches trying to do some damage, not going to be able to do much at all. We got lots of Hellions moving on down here. They're going to be trying to do some economic damage and actually doing a decent job, even roasting those Roaches. Broodlord push moving across the middle of the map right now. Hellions tearing apart Nestea's economy over there. I'm concerned for those Broodlords though, because we do have these Ravens in play. There's some Seeker Missiles doing so much damage with those Thors as well. Those Seeker Missiles, unreal. Those poor Broodlords way too slow to get away. Hellions able to destroy the economy over there of Nestea. So far, BratOK killing off a total of 24 workers. Now, we are going to be seeing a continued push here from those Broodlords. Unfortunately, though, this Hellion's still alive. Broodlords should be able to finally take them out now. A couple of Queens moving down to try to transfuse and help out over there with those Broodlords. Wouldn't be surprised. We should be seeing some more Seeker Missiles, and here they come right now. Ravens moving forward, dropping the Seeker Missiles again. That is something that they cannot get away from. The Broodlords are far too slow to be able to avoid those Seeker Missiles. That is just so effective. We've got a few more Broodlords moving over here right now, and these are systematically getting taken out. Now the Siege Army is taking a lot of damage as well. That is something to consider. Corruptors getting taken out there by those Vikings. Point defense drones helping so much against them. Ravens will be moving forward and continuing to drop some more Seeker Missiles. This is really not looking that good for Nestea at all. We've got a few Roaches coming down, and ooh, he's getting very close to mopping up the rest of this mech. The Roach is doing very well, but we've got a Banshee up here. We've got some mass repairing SCVs, and we still have a lot of these Ravens in play. He could drop some auto turrets, but he is happy with just having those 2 Thors plus that Banshee left. Some continued massive upgrades coming out for Nestea, and we got some Ravens moving across the map, however, and that Banshee. Just a very unorthodox build here from BratOK, and very interesting to see indeed. Looks like we did have a Speedling attack push on over into this direction, and that unfortunately made it so BratOK was not able to mine from there, and I think he lost a hefty amount of SCVs. Yes, he did. Ended up losing a total of 38. We got a lot of Speedlings and Roaches moving down here. We still have all of these Ravens in play, and I want to see if it's going to pay off here, if he's going to be able to use those Seeker Missiles effectively. Lots of Speedlings and Roaches pushing up into the main now, and this is a problem, but here come the Seeker Missiles going straight towards those Roaches. Very nice split there from Nestea, trying to avoid taking as much damage as possible. The Roach is getting very low, and we might see some more Seeker Missiles, although he's got a lot of tank fire, plus those Hellions over there. We've got a few Corruptors and Speedlings there in the center of the map, and that push did get taken care of. Again, this Raven heavy force, very, very interesting. Couple of Speedlings over here. We're going to see a small Roach army pushing in this position. Planetary Fortresses proving to be a huge problem there for them. Seeker Missiles trying to chase up to them. Oh, a little nice split there. Needs to be careful. That was a mistake. He clumped up all of those Corruptors right there. Can't micro well all the time, I suppose. Nestea's got a lot of Roaches coming down over here. A couple of Roaches pushing on into this position as well. We're going to allow him to take out those Hellions. those point defense drones, certainly a major problem once those Corruptors come into play, because they're not going to allow them to shoot those Ravens at all. We've got a lot of Hellions and tanks over here trying to bunch up those Roaches as much as possible. This is going to allow those Seeker missiles to land and be very effective, just like that right there. Look at that Seeker missile and how much damage it was able to do. Again, Corruptor's not able to do anything near those point defense drones. We got a couple auto turrets coming into play as well. BratOK trying to hold on as long as possible, attempting to survive this strong Roach push. Roach is now finally in the main. We'll be able to start to work towards taking out those production buildings, sniping down all of the attachments over here. BratOK losing these attachments one at a time. He should be able to take out these Roaches, but he will be taking some hefty losses before that happens right now. Losing those attachments is pretty devastating in all honesty. We've got 12 more Roaches coming out, some continuous upgrades coming out as well for Nestea. BratOK doesn't have any counter aggression or anything like that going on. We've got some pretty free mining over here for Nestea. Hopefully Nestea, though, works to drone up a little bit harder. What's his drone? Oh, no, his drone count's at 78 right now. I don't even know where all that saturation is going. Looks like he's just spread pretty thin. All right, so he is all set in terms of the number of drones. He's going to continue to mass up his forces right now. Looks like he's content with all of the Roaches. Auto turrets to continue to try to do some damage. Look at all the auto turrets. Auto turrets will be taking out the Roaches. Nestea not pulling back with those Roaches. There we go. That's what you want to do. Pull back. Now time to snipe some depots as well as SCVs. There are a lot of auto turrets protecting the main right now. We will be seeing some Roaches pushing in a different direction right now. He is actually going to be moving for this expansion, trying to snipe down this planetary. Getting this down would be absolutely huge. Roaches in the main do finally get taken care of. However, some repair from the SCVs will be delaying these Roaches from being able to take down this planetary, allowing the planetary to continue to shell out. We got some mules dropping down as well, and that is unbelievable. SCVs plus mules able to defend this for so very long. Now we've got some reinforcement Roaches, though. He should be able to finally take out this planetary. Oh, it's taking so long, and he keeps losing Roaches. Finally, the planetary gets dropped. Still got a ton of Ravens, and again, BratOK is holding on with everything that he's got. He's got some more Hellions and siege tanks in production. Couple Corruptors finally continuing to push down and try to take out those Ravens. Really not standing a chance, though, with those point defense drones, plus the Seeker missiles and those auto turrets. It's just unbelievable. Roach is pushing up here again, trying to take down another planetary. They have to contend with the SCVs. Now, even though he's not going to be able to take down the planetary, most likely he's killing off so many SCVs. We're going to be seeing some reinforcements. Here come the auto turrets as well. We'll be starting to snipe down these Roaches. We still have some Roaches on the backside. He's going to be very close to actually be able to take this out. Gets it burning right now. We've got a few more Roaches sitting down here as we are seeing a BratOK distracted up here trying to defend this planetary. There we go, landing down some mules. He was barely able to hold on there. Roaches back down here, and I want to see him hit the economy. That is really the biggest thing. Let's take a look right now at the resources being gathered. It looks like Nestea's in a pretty strong position in terms of his economy. We do have some Hellions moving down. This Hellion counterattack is precisely what BratOK needs to do. However, that's going to get mopped up pretty quickly. Hellions getting taken care of by those Roaches. The Roaches are now 3-2. That level 3 weapons upgrade coming out, and continued mass upgrades as well coming out. Now BratOK, unfortunately, is very behind in terms of those upgrades. He's got some siege fire laying down on those Roaches. However, we've got more and more Roaches coming down. We should be seeing these Ravens come into play, hopefully with some turrets. That's going to help actually a lot with those siege tanks. Pulling back with the siege tanks over here. Roaches now moving up into the main, and there's a lot of the auto turrets about to get laid down right now, trying to take out. The problem is right now it's so congested over here. Those Roaches have a hard time avoiding those auto turrets once they get dropped. So he will be trying to just squeeze his way through. And again, going straight for those attachments. That's a big focus for him right now, because if he can take off those attachments, that stops tank production, that stops Thor production as well. Taking out the attachments here on the starports, stop those Banshees from coming in play. Just more and more Roaches. Still, no more counterattack action. We saw that Hellion counterattack, but that was it for a while. And these Roaches are so effective. Again, this Raven play, unorthodox. He's doing an okay job, but he's taking some pretty hefty losses as well from these heavy Roach attacks. The other problem is just this unit composition of BratOK is so slow. We're seeing Nestea able to quite easily push out with attacks in alternate positions, and we still have a lot of auto turrets up here. The Roaches should be able to take him out with no supporting fire from any tanks or anything like that. Should be able to take it out no problem. Lots of SCVs ready to repair right now this planetary fortress. We should be seeing a mass repair go down. Roaches will be getting up and trying to snipe this down as quick as possible. A little concerned, though, that there are too many SCVs there. Mass of Ravens pushing back. This Raven fire. Here we go with some more Seeker missiles doing so much damage. Tanks laying down some splash fire. Roaches trying to get up right under them and snipe them down. Again, the economy advantage right now going to Nestea. He does have that stronger income. And BratOK is so focused on defending these attacks. Still a few more Roaches over here inside of the main. Ravens just continuing to try to chase down these Roach forces. Whenever Nestea pushes on one of the bases, we're just seeing this heavy Raven army move back and forth. How many Ravens does he have? This is unreal. He's got 28 Ravens and only 3 siege tanks, 6 Hellions, and 2 Banshees. Plus he's got those 7 Vikings to deal with Corruptors. We get some more Roaches pushing down here, finally able to take out one of those orbitals and finally transition into Speedlings. Also, we've got Pathogen Glands coming out, so we may be seeing some Infestors come into play. Ravens just dancing around the map. They're like, la da 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 da, just gonna chase down these Roaches wherever they hit. BratOK unable to mine from here anymore. He's got most of his mining happening in this position. Also some mining going on over here, some decent saturation. I really wish, oh, that is beautiful. Just one Muta. Go to town there on those SCVs. Have a great time there, Muta. So Seeker Missiles coming down on those Roaches. See you later. This is unbelievable. This is probably one of the most ridiculous games I've ever seen. Watch that Seeker Missile chase down those Roaches, forcing him into some tank fire right now. Seeker Missile manages to catch up there. Roaches get taken out. We've got some Banelings getting morphed in over here. He's actually going to use those to try to bust through that planter. I'm not sure that that's enough Banelings. It may be, though. It's going to be cutting it pretty close, honestly. Look at that Muta. How many kills does he have? He's got 7. He will be getting even more before his time is done. And we actually have a counter push right now. A Raven, a Banshee, and a Viking counter push moving out. Now sitting at 10 kills right now. That one Mutalist just able to go to town without an anti-air over there. We still have these Banshees over here. We've got a couple of Hellions over here. They've actually managed to get quite a few kills. There's 3 and 2. And here come the Ravens, Banshees, and Vikings. And we will be seeing a hatchery getting dropped to auto turrets. Let me tell you, my friends, that is not something you see every day. And the Banelings just destroying the resource line here for BratOK. Auto turrets will be able to take out this expansion. The Roaches may save the day. I don't think they're going to get there in time. Oh, we just need to see him target fire. BratOK not paying attention to these auto turrets. He could have target fired and taken them out, but that didn't happen. I believe, yes, that Mute is still alive. Now sitting at 14 kills. That is unreal. Seeker Missiles will be going down on those Roaches. See ya later, Roaches. Roaches get dropped from Seeker Missiles. Gonna be seeing some fungal growth here from these Infestors. That will help a bit, but the Seeker Missiles still coming into play, and we'll be able to catch up there to those Infestors. Oh, a big clump up. Oh, that's dangerous. That is so dangerous. Some more fungal growth going down. Also seeing some of these Infested Terrans getting dropped. Muta still alive, doing damage over here, and more Seeker Missiles. I can't catch every Seeker Missile. There's just way too much Seeker Missile action going on. In fact, I'm just tired of saying Seeker Missile. We've got a tank push coming out over here for BratOK as well. Slowly encroaching with that tank line. Heavy saturation going on over here. I don't know what all of those drones are doing. That's actually making me really sad. They're just sitting there idly, not getting any mining at all. And I'm a little bit concerned actually right now for Nestea. Nestea is going to lose this expansion. The siege line, unfortunately, stopping Nestea from being able to defend that expansion from that auto turret fire. Why I'm concerned right now is because this game's continuing to progress, and actually BratOK is starting to get a pretty strong economy. He's getting himself back in this game, able to withstand all of those Roach attacks with this hefty amount of Ravens, and now he's going to be hitting up this expansion. We got some Infestors. Oh no! So much fire from those Seeker Missiles and those Siege Tanks, and we just saw, I don't know, that was like 10 plus Infestors just get dropped almost instantly. And unfortunately, the major problem right now for Nestea is he just does not have a good response to these Ravens. These Ravens are destroying him right now. Systematically, they get more and more energy, and they can just keep hitting. And that's the biggest thing, that the damage from these Ravens, you know, he hasn't really lost many of them. He just drops point defense drones once Corruptors come into play, and then using Seeker Missiles and auto turrets, plus the small amount of actual force he has. I mean, he has got so many Ravens, 23, only 13 tanks and 13 Hellions, plus those 4 Vikings, and that is it. That's the bulk of his damage dealing sources, but he sniped both these expansions, and Nestea, with almost no mining right now, he has got 0 reinforcements. Units now sitting on 14 Roaches and 9 Infestors in terms of army size. Wow. Nestea calling the GG. What an intense game number 2. BratOK winning with this heavy Raven style of play. And again, as I mentioned near the end of the game, unfortunately, Nestea just did not have the proper response to it. There were so many Ravens, the point defense drones, plus those Seeker Missiles and auto turrets were way too much for him to handle. And with this heavy Raven play, plus that small mech force to reinforce, we saw a pretty easy late game mop-up. After he defended those constant Roach attacks, he was just able to push out, take out both of Nestea's expansions, and call for the GG. What a game number 2. We're going to be moving on to game number 3 in just one moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.